And this one walked up to me in Paris, worn by a very chic lady crossbody, and smacked me in the face as if to say, why have you not noticed me before? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me, and from the outset I apologise for the lack of eye candy in the background. I have got used to sitting on this comfy sofa in my video and filming videos, but I promise to get back to my dressing room. It's just like a bit of a bomb site and I need to clear some space to get in there to film. Today's video, I have been asked a number of times comments and questions and messages about any bags that I think are underrated bags that are on my radar or that I would recommend or that I think are worth looking at. So I thought I would do a quick video today and talk to you about bags that I think are underrated. Now, I don't have many of these bags, so I won't be able to say whether or not I recommend them from wear and tear and my own personal use, but I will be able to tell you if they're bags. These are bags, all of these bags are bags that are on my radar that I think are really good. I think they're worth looking at, and I think they're bags that just don't always step into the spotlight as much of some of the other bags that we're used to always seeing, and I think they're bags that are deserving of a little bit more attention. And the first one of these, and I have a list here on my phone, and the first one is the Louisville Puzzle Bag. I think this bag is stunning. Connor recently unboxed this on his Christmas unboxing, and if you haven't watched that, he had lots of eye candy. Check out his video. He got it in the most beautiful caramel colour, and I think it's stunning. It's such a beautiful leather. I love that it's interesting. The shape of it is interesting, and how it's put together, and the handle and the different segments. I think it looks really good. Janae from Ysl Lulu also has this bag in a multicolour. I think she maybe has more than one, but she has one that's pinks and blues and pastel type colours, and it's multicoloured pieces of leather put together, and it's so stunning. It's so stunning and it's so interesting, and it really, really takes my attention anytime that she shows it. And I think that bag, although you see it a bit on social media, I think that is an underrated bag. I don't think it gets the attention that it maybe deserves, and I don't think that it's a bag that screams at you maybe like a Chanel or a certain Louis Vuitton, but it's one that I certainly think is worth looking into. Number two, and there's two coming together, and this all comes from Dale's addiction. Dale, what have you done? Before Dale, I did not really ever have Fendi on my radar. Dale has introduced me to Fendi. In Ireland in general, I would say Fendi is not such a big thing. In Brown Thomas here, where all the luxury stores in Dublin are, there is one table in the main handbag hall, so to speak, that is Fendi. Chanel has a boutique, and Louis Vuitton has a boutique, and Dior now has a boutique, and Hermes has a boutique, and there's some other boutiques. YSL has a boutique, Gucci has a boutique. But Fendi is one table, and it's one round table. There are very, very few bags on it. There are very few options. There are very few chances to look at bags. I don't think I've seen any peekaboos on it. There's very, very little. So it's never really been on my radar. Then whenever Dale started talking a lot about Fendi, sharing the love for Fendi, I started to pay more attention to it, and I have since seen the peekaboo bags. I think they're stunning. I think they are really underrated. They remind me very much of the Louis Vuitton Capucine, which I love and adore. I think it's the same type of bag. I think the leather in them looks really stunning. I've seen them in the Cellier, which I believe Dale does have one in that leather. It was so soft and so beautiful in Paris. I like the colours that they come in. I like that you can wear them crossbody. I really like the straps that Fendi have that you can mix and match and make the bags just that bit more interesting. So I think certainly the Fendi Peekaboo is underrated. I also think the Baguette is. Now I know it's coming back with the Sex and the City reboot and it's getting a lot more attention, but I think it's a bag that I never gave any attention to before, and I now have become a bit obsessed with. I suppose them bringing them out in bright colours attracts my attention. I love that they do multicolour. I love that they do sequins. I love that they do bright, and I think it's a bag that really deserves just being looked at that little bit more. You can again add the straps to it. It can be worn top handle. It's grabbing my attention, and I think it's one, if you want something that's a little bit different to say a Chanel mini or something different to a Louis Vuitton canvas bag or a Louis Vuitton bag, it's something that's worth giving a bit of attention to. The next one I have on my list, and I don't know if this is underrated or not, But I just think it's a really, really good bag compared to Chanel or Louis Vuitton type price points. And it's the Ysl Lulu. I had this before in the creamy, buttery colour. I bought the silver hardware. I should have bought the gold. Mine was too close to the... Ooh, mine was too close to my Chanel 19. I think whenever I had the Chanel 19, I didn't use the Lulu. I think maybe in a different colour or different hardware, but it was a beautiful bag. It was very well made. The leather was very supple. It was beautiful to touch. And I think it's a really good bag. And the price of it compared to, say, a Chanel 19, which I was comparing it to, the price of it is much more reasonable as opposed to luxury prices. I'm not saying it's a reasonably priced bag, but when we're looking at luxury handbags, I think it's a more reasonably priced bag. The next one I have is the Louis Vuitton twist. Now, Louis Vuitton, you couldn't say is underrated. Louis Vuitton is everywhere, especially in my wardrobe, and especially on a lot of social media and Instagram, and that's for a reason. I absolutely love it. I love the canvas. I love the traditional monogrammed canvas. I think Louis Vuitton bags are fabulous. I think Louis Vuitton at the minute is on point. There are so many bags from LV at the minute that I could spend lots and lots of money on here. Take my money. So many bags screaming my name. Anita sent me very recently a beautiful, beautiful version of a Capucines, and I was so tempted to buy that, and you're just thinking, stop, there are so many. But I think the twist doesn't always get the attention that it should. I know it's a bag that's been around for quite some time. You can get them quite reasonably priced on the resale market. If I can find any examples that I like, I'll put that down below in the description box. But I think it's a great bag. I have one now. I used to have two, and there's a particular colourway I missed a while back that if I could find again, I would add again. I think it's a really, really good bag, and it just doesn't get the attention that a lot of the other models do. And I think it probably deserves a bit more attention than it gets. And I'm going to go a bit further on a bit of a tangent, because we all know I do that because I like to talk. But I also think the Louis Vuitton leather bags can be underrated. I know, controversial. I know there is a lot of discussion about Louis Vuitton trying to push away from their traditional canvas. And don't get me wrong, I adore their canvas. I do not want them to stop making their canvas. I don't want them to push completely away from it. But there has been an influx, or there has been more attention on leather bags from LV. And I think sometimes because they're expensive for leather bags, and because people associate a lot of the time Louis with the canvas, they don't really always get the attention or the credit they deserve. And I think some of the leather bags from LV are fabulous. I think they're really, really well made. The Capucines is a stunning, stunning bag. And I just think the leather is maybe slightly underrated. And I think people can sometimes, myself at times included, gasp a little bit at the price point. And it can be close to Chanel, but where Chanel are going with their price points now, there's starting to be a gap again. And I think that yes, they're expensive, but they're really, really good bags, and they're really well made. And I am a fan of the Louis Vuitton leather. The next bag that I think is totally underrated, and this one walked up to me in Paris, worn by a very chic lady crossbody, and smacked me in the face as if to say, why have you not noticed me before? And it is a Celine bag, and it is the Celine Triomphe bag. And I'm sorry if I'm not saying that correctly. I think this is stunning. The lady that I saw wearing it was wearing a plain black version with that beautiful, beautiful gold clasp. And it's so, so beautiful. Now, I was not a fan of the traditional Celine box bag, probably because it was a little too understated for me, and I like things a bit more in your face and tacky. But this was beautiful. It had the lock, which just made it stand out, made it that little bit more va-va-voom about it. I just thought it was absolutely stunning. And at that point, I realised, you haven't really thought much about that bag. You haven't heard much about that bag. That bag has been under your radar. And when I saw it on that lady, I realised instantly that bag deserves more. And I'm just looking at some of them here. That bag deserves more credit because it's absolutely stunning. The last bag that I have on my list that I think are potentially sometimes underrated is Chloe. And the one thing I suppose it doesn't help with Chloe is it does not have a very good resale value if you are thinking of it might not work out and if you had to sell it on. But I previously had a Chloe bag. The leather in them is very, very good. They are not the worst price point when it comes to luxury bags. And I think they can be quite hard wearing. And I like a lot of them. I like a lot of the crossbody styles. I used to have a Chloe Paddington many years ago that would wreck your shoulder all by itself with the big padlock. But I like Chloe, and I don't know what it is about it. I think it's the quality of the leather. It just is a bag. Now, I don't have any in my collection at the minute, but I think they're underrated. I think the quality of them is underrated, and I think they are some really good options of bags. So that was a very quick look at some of the bags that I think are underrated. That was fun to have a look at, because now I have more things that I'm looking at on my list of things I might like to add. Stop, crazy woman. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being here. Please take care, and I will see you again in the next one.